Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Tim from the Camp Compound and it's time for our daily technical analysis video. Let's get right to it. We've had an interesting day yesterday because we only had a 0.5% rate increase right after a decent CPI readout of 7.1%. So that is both bullish news. Why are we going down then? Let's have a look. Because in part because Jerome Powell already mentioned that he wanted to do a 0.5% rate increase rather than 0.75. So ever since, I believe that was around here-ish at the end of November, start of December somewhere, and that is when the market kind of started preemptively buying up and entering into longs. And now that the news has actually hit the street, we have seen a proper sell the news event. The rumor was bought all the way up until 18,500 approximately, this big resistance here, and on the news itself we crashed back to where we are now, 17,400. Now what I would like to see is to end today above 17,600 because that is our big line in the sand, a really big level that we were talking about over the past couple of weeks at this point. So we want to see a close above that, or otherwise an immediate retrace tomorrow to back above. We do still have this uptrend here, but I would just really rather see this level hold and make a proper support. We could consolidate for a while as long as we then continue upwards. We don't necessarily have to break 18,500 the next go around, but it would be preferable to make a new base here rather than to crash back under and perhaps move back down towards the lows for either a breakdown further or a double bottom. We'll have to see. But that is what we're currently looking at in Bitcoin. If we take a quick look at the 4-hour, then we do see here that it is trying to tap that 200 EMA, which is generally a strong support, and we also see a bounce here. So we'll see how that goes in the next 2 hours approximately, but this is kind of what we're looking at for the moment. If we do break through, then yeah, like 16,700 is the next one, and then we'll move back to 15,900, 16,000 approximately. So keep an eye out for that. That is what we're really looking for. If we can hold that 17,600, we might see sentiment improve a little bit. Alright, that being said, let's have a quick look at Ethereum, because this morning it was not looking so hot. If we look at Ethereum, oh, this can close, then we see that it too has had a pretty rough day. Yesterday already was quite rough when we talked about it with these two wicks. Well, those solidified, they ossified into being, and now we see they move back down and we lost the trend line again. So we'll see if we can actually confirm below it. Kind of goes the same as for Bitcoin. If we keep under it, then we'll probably move back down first to like that 1230 to 1200 and then 1170, 1060 probably. That's kind of how we'll see it go. Those are the important levels that we're looking at. And otherwise we have to go back up and break this high here, which is like the last proper point that we touched after we broke down. So now this is like a very heavy psychological resistance that we want to break through in order to break through the overarching downward spiral, or not spiral, trend line. So that is what we're looking at in Ethereum. That is also kind of the sentiment in the alt market currently. The Bitcoin dominance is skyrocketing, or at the very least it was not too long ago. Let's have a quick look. We see here today's a bit less, we're retracing a bit, altcoins are taking a bit of capital back, but most importantly in combination with the USDT, we see that the USDT dominance is hardly going down. So that means that the amount of USDT as opposed to crypto in the market is staying fairly stable. And for Bitcoin to gain dominance, then that must mean that the capital must come from altcoins, because there's only three parts of this pie. It's USDT, or stablecoins, and USDT is the best proxy at the moment. Stablecoins, Bitcoin, altcoins. Stablecoins is staying the same, Bitcoin is expanding, that means that the altcoins must be contracting. And because altcoins are kind of, well, coming back a little bit, or at the very least trying to, we see that Bitcoin is kind of holding up for a moment, and we'll see if it can actually hold this support here around that 41.4. Now, let's have a look at a couple coins, shall we? We see that DYDX is stabilizing a bit, like we just said. Makes sense with the broader market. Here we also want to see a breakthrough at 1.6869 approximately, 1.7. That's kind of where we want to go through. And we really just want the USDT dominance to break down further and to really set through this trend, basically. That's what we're really looking at. Because if that happens, then there's more capital for the market and we have more space to grow. That's kind of what we're looking at. XRD is kind of stabilizing a little bit as well. It's not as wildly violent anymore. It's kind of trying to consolidate around here and then perhaps go for that double top like we talked about. Seems like it at the moment. Have a quick look at AVE. What is that doing? It is actually contracting a little bit. We see here still that it is in contraction and it is hanging around in this area here. If it does break down, we might just break through that 58 and look at 53 to 54, 55-ish for a second entry. That is all fine. Matic, let's have a quick look what that's doing. Kind of the same thing. It is sort of just consolidating, but Matic does actually not look too bad. That's my cat being saucy today. Hopefully you don't hear him too much. It's actually making a bit of a bull channel because we see a spike up and then it's moving back down. So that is actually a decent chance of breaking back up. We'll see, but it will probably need the support of the broader market of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that is really what we're looking at. Because it's a bear market, there's not a lot of liquidity. Most of the money is going into Ethereum and Bitcoin, so they kind of have to lead us out of the dark for us to get anywhere. That is why Bitcoin breaking through 17,600 was so significant and why we have to hold it now. Because that might get sentiment back up a little bit slowly but surely. But we'll see. We shall see. What else do we have? Chili's is actually doing pretty decently today. We see that it is actively trying to break its trend line. It's not quite there yet. Maybe if it can close above this support here and confirms through these trend lines here, then we might just see a move all the way back up to 16.7. And that's kind of where we see that it had issues before. We might just see a slight retrace and then another attempt to break and move back up to that 19 cents. It is a bit tough to gauge because 19 cents from here is still quite the move up. Let's say here that is about 30%. That is hard to realize in a bear market with current, without really the expansion of USDT or of USDT, the USDT market cap declining or, you know, more money flowing in. It's currently a bit iffy, but the foundation is being laid if we can break through right here. Cake is having a rough go of it, is going back to its lows. We'll see if it can hold. That would be the 1, 2, 3, third time that it taps. So that would be a minor support if we bounce again, because here we've had like, it's 1, 2, 3 strikes from here on out. There's a higher chance that we'll break back through and maybe move towards that, let's say 3.25 approximately here, this area. That is kind of it for Cake at the moment. What else do we have? Anything interesting here? We've had kind of our positions for the moment. Let's have a quick look at AVAX, and then that is that for the moment, I think. AVAX USDT is not doing so hot, but it's not doing too bad either. It's really just consolidating here. Basically we have this range approximately, and let's say like there, like there's a clear midline, there's a clear bottom line and a clear top line, and we're stuck in between. So for the moment I would not want to get into AVAX, but you know, here around that $12 would be a decent entry for the moment, again depending on what the market will do, but this would be a decent start for a decent project. That is currently what we're looking at. Hopefully this was useful to you. Hopefully you have a bit of an idea of why the market went down after good news, and I will see you all tomorrow. So keep calm, keep cool, keep compounding. Bye bye.